Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for waiting. I am Cheryl Strathman, and I would like to call to order the Strategic Plan Subcommittee for Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. Clerk, please call the roll.
Gripe,
Here.
Linder,
Here.
Molina, Sturgis, Pirog, Bates, Strathman.
Strathman here. And do we have any requests for remote attendance? Okay, no requests today. And I would like to ask for unanimous approval for the minutes from September 24, 2025.
Right, moves for unanimous consent for the minutes of 9/24/25.
Any objections? Okay, so be it. And I don't think we have anybody signed up for public comment today. Okay, no public comment. So I would like to thank and welcome Michelle Kennedy for being patient with us while we had our long meeting this morning. And Michelle is going to be making a quick presentation to the committee. So good morning, or good afternoon, I guess. It is here anyway.
Good afternoon. Happy to see all of you. Just a quick verbal presentation. Wanted to let you all know that we made pretty considerable progress over the last week to week and a half, completing a number of the early tasks that we need to have done so that we can really move forward with stakeholder engagement. We are making the finishing touches to the social pinpoint site now that the subcommittee has provided us with the survey questions, and we're able to get that in final form for you to take one last look at before it goes live. We have a completed stakeholder list, which we are going to be scheduling interviews soon. There will be emails that go out to the stakeholder lists from the county, and that will provide an introduction to Barry Dunn. Barry Dunn will be scheduling a number of virtual interviews and conducting those between early next week and the middle of November. And then we will be on site in November for community forums as well as group interviews that Paul Kofer is putting a schedule together for us. So the majority of our stakeholder engagement is going to be taking place over the next month or so. And all of that, as you know, will culminate in an environmental scan, which will serve as the basis for actually developing the strategic plan itself. So this next 4 to 5 weeks of activity will be really pivotal in pulling together all of that data and information that we will need to produce the environmental scan. So that's just kind of an overview of where we are at right now. Questions from the subcommittee?
Do we have any questions? Yes, Mr. Gripe?
Thank you. I was curious when we could see the stakeholder list. My understanding is that it's already come to you before necessarily everything was done by 5 yesterday. So, but at any event, we could possibly amend that, but I wondered when we could see the stakeholder list.
I'll ask the subcommittee chairs to comment on that. Barry Dunn is not taking any action on that list until we have full go ahead from all of you.
And we'll talk about that after her presentation.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Kennedy? Okay.
And I'm going to stay and listen if that's okay.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and mute my microphone and you can call on me if you need anything.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you very much. So thank you for that presentation and for that update for anybody, or for everybody, I should say. So what I wanted to say about the stakeholder list is I guess I need to tell the committee that Mavis and I are meeting with the workforce group and working with the consultant. So when we send something out to you and we give you a deadline, it is because we are working with the deadline with the consultant and with the workforce group. And the deadline was Monday night, not Tuesday night, for the stakeholders list. This time we'll go ahead and we will incorporate them. But part of the thing is that we have been working, we as the collective, have been working on that group for about 2 months or more. And some of the names that were submitted are already on the list. And if we had put in a lot of extra names, it would have taken a lot of work on the staff's part to go back through the list that we have accumulated to add names or to make sure that, we weren't doing duplicates. So that is why when Mavis and I send out something to you and we give you a deadline, we really want you to adhere to that. And we would like you to send your list to us rather than Paul, so that we go through the committee process. So yes, Mr. Gripe?
Question, and you've referred to each other as co-chairs. Although I see your name in caps here, my understanding was that the board had eliminated co-chairs for any committee, and that I checked with the state's attorney, it would require a resolution of the entire board to have a co-chair. Anybody can help anybody, but from the official standpoint, that no committee is allowed to have a co-chair. So I'm curious why, Mavis can help without being a co-chair, but I'm just curious where that came from.
Mike, yeah.
You're not on.
Oh, you are correct. Is that the no co-chairs idea was because otherwise both co-chairs would go on to the executive committee. For a subcommittee, neither of us will be on the executive committee. So I believe that's what that resolution was all about.
Okay.
So-
And how was the decision to have the co-chairs be who they are?
That is not a committee vote, that we were both appointed.
Okay. All right.
So-
Just curious.
Okay, so we did turn in to the consultant, Brooks and Dunn, Barry Dunn. I'm Michelle, my apology. I got that in my head.
Group.
I'm awarding you as a country western group, and my apologies. Barry Dunn.
And I always say Dun and Bradstreet, so.
So our apologies. We're Barry Dunn. I'm going to work on that. So we have worked on the survey questions, and we have approved them and turned them in. We will, I know Mr. Linder sent some names in today, as well as Mr. Gripe last night. So we will incorporate and we will check to make sure that those names aren't already on our list and put them on the stakeholders list. We do have locations set up for our meetings. One of them, we got a yes, and then we got a no. So we're pursuing another place in Elgin, unfortunately, but I think we have them all settled right now. And then we will be working on the schedule of the interviews and the groups of that. Now, one of the things I would like to do today is on the stakeholders list. Yes, the stakeholders list. We need to decide, some people will be given personal interviews. Some people will be group Zoom interviews, and I'd like some input from this committee on that process, who we think should be some of the people that we should be addressing as an in-person and private, one-on-one, or whether or not we can have, like the mayors. It would, in my opinion, it would be good to have the mayors as a in-person group rather than one-on-one. We have a lot of mayors in King County. So any input on that?
Madam Co-Chair?
Yes,
I have a
ma'am.
question for Michelle Kennedy. What is your capacity for doing the one-on-one interviews, Michelle?
So
You have a limit. We could have hundreds, but.
yeah, and we can't do hundreds of interviews. I think I provided the project management team a number of interviews, total number of hours that we had budgeted for interviews. I mean, the bottom line is the more one-on-one interviews we do, the fewer people we reach. So we like to typically save the one-on-ones for board members, county board members, as well as any sort of really significant stakeholders that you identify that are really have their finger on the pulse of your community and know a lot about your community. Those are the ones that we like to try to do one-on-one interviews with, so we can, get really powerful input from people who really have their finger on the pulse. And then group interviews, when you have like the group of mayors, those are great to do as groups. Like when you have a set of people that have a similar function in the community, for example, like businesses are good to do in a group. And if you wanted us to talk to the education community, educational institutions are good to include as a group, as are like faith-based organizations or community-based organizations that provide, social services to the community. Those are all really good groups to do as groups. And one of the reasons why is because those participants will play off of one another. And the conversation can be a little bit more rich than if we had interviewed those folks individually.
Are those all Zoom? Are the groups
No,
or?
we hope to do as many of the group interviews as possible on site when we're there. And that's why we're eager to have,
Good.
that
Mhm.
that stakeholder list finalized so those people can be invited.
Do we have schedules for those
We're working on that.
places?
Could I interject just for a
Yes.
minute? I do have a draft schedule of the meeting I put together yesterday, or the meetings I put together yesterday. I could maybe email it to Blair if you want to put it up on the screen.
That would be great.
It's very fresh, maybe just like 2
And
hours
we
away.
understand it's a draft, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be
Okay,
great
I'll pass it to
for
Blair.
people to see it.
Madam Chair,
One
is
second.
she done?
John, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So it involves this. I think Mavis's point is a good one, that let's say we invite 5 mayors, just picking a number. I would rather have a Zoom option for them, as Mavis suggested, saying, hey, we're meeting in person. But if for some reason you can't drive from wherever to wherever, we'd love to have you there.
That wasn't my suggestion, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
So it's your
Well,
suggestion.
no, we'll share it.
Okay.
Because I'd rather have your input on Zoom than not get your input at all.
Madam
That's a
Chair.
great idea. We could have those be hybrid. So we could have, our facilitator in the meeting to facilitate the people who show up, and then we could have a Zoom link going at the same time. So I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
I see just Senator DeWitt under elected officials. We need to make sure that we invite Senator DeWitt, Senator Castro, Senator Villa,
Well,
et cetera.
That should be taken off.
yeah,
Take off DeWitt. We're not going to,
You're not going to go through state officials?
no, we
Okay.
decided that's too broad for our purposes.
yeah, and that was just one this is not the very latest updated.
Okay, so
list.
that is going to be deleted.
Yeah.
Okay, very
So I
good.
know it looks funny having just DeWitt, but we discussed taking him off.
Okay.
We discussed leaving him on since he's not running. But we don't want to go that broad. We can't go that
Okay,
big.
okay, very good. Because they do cover other counties as well.
Right. And at their level, they're going to see things that we have no jurisdiction over and aren't in
My
our,
concern was that
our-
if you invite one.
Yes,
you need
absolutely.
to
That was
invite
our
all.
concern as well. Paul, are you able to share that with us?
Yes, I sent it to Blair.
And what is the last one? I cannot read it. The very, they have elected officials and the one underneath it.
Businesses.
Businesses. And who is that?
I can help there.
That's
The Elgin.
that's from Elgin's economic development, our chamber. That's
Oh,
our,
okay,
our
okay.
chamber.
So one chamber, then it should be the chambers.
well,
Yes.
there's pages below you didn't see.
Okay.
And one thing that you don't see on this list that we have also added is some faith-based leaders to have in as a group. These were not on the
Absolutely. Oh, that
original,
would be
the
lovely.
names were not on the original list, and we have added those as well. So,
Who's driving? Paul or Blair? Okay.
So which list do you want, Paul? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, this is my draft schedule. I have most of the organizations grouped by, what type of organization they are. So everyone that on the larger stakeholder list is indicated as
Read it.
receiving a group interview, they'll be on that list. So I've broken them out into 1 hour time slots with the periods for the community forums. I've tried to build in travel and set up time to that as well. So I'm trying to block off what happens when on these 2 days. There are 2 that you see online, or row 6 and then row 18, the libraries and the chambers of commerce. Right now, I've got those prioritized as just getting a social pinpoint link, but I had the time available, so I put them on the list anyway in case we want to send out, an invitation to them anyway. When we, finalize it, we might not have room for them, so they're just up there tentatively, basically.
Paul, did you say
Was-
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. So there's 2 tabs on the sheet, one for the 4th and one for the 5th.
Oh, sorry.
Where's the
Oh,
5th?
got it.
Is there?
It's down below.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
the 5th was a little bit tighter since there's 2 community forums there.
Okay.
And then over there in column D for those bigger groups, the community groups and social service organizations, for my convenience, pretty much I listed out who falls into those groups. And then likewise on the 4th with the cities, I grouped those into large cities and small cities. All subject to change, of course.
Is AID is not on there?
I'm sorry, could you say that?
AID, yeah.
Association for Individual Development.
They're a good one to have.
Oh, my God. They're
Yeah.
one of the largest.
Yeah, they're
ones here
like
in
one of the
Kane
biggest,
County.
but size aside, guys, they're like our Kiwanis Club works with them a lot, has for a long time. They are very impactful. So, and the
And
way
VNA.
they reach into the community is probably valuable
And
for
V-
us.
You're talking about AID?
Yes.
AID, yes,
Oh, of
and,
course.
and VNA.
Yes, I think we have,
Are they on the list of community stakeholders? Can you go back to the stakeholder list?
are you,
Yeah, I don't believe I saw VNA on the list, but obviously I know of them. I could add them. Same with AID.
I'm sure Michael Isaacson put in.
It
Can
was-
we go back to the stakeholder list, please? Sir.
I don't,
Driver.
because I drew the schedule from that stakeholder list and I don't believe that AID was on that
That would
list.
be under health or, okay.
I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm not
We're
understanding.
looking for VNA on the
Oh,
stakeholder. list.
VNA, okay, okay.
Visiting Nurses
Yeah.
Or
Association.
AID.
On that list, I'm almost certain that VNA is not there.
Okay, let's add Visiting Nurse Association.
Sure.
And AID, is AID in
For
here?
individual development.
Yes, we have them. I think they're on, somewhere on this is not the final list.
Paul, I can send
the
you,
newest
if it's
list.
okay, a little more casual maybe, but I can send you, I have contacts of the director at AID.
I would like you to send them to Mavis and
Okay.
I.
I'll send it to you guys. Do you want me to send it to Paul too?
Okay, as long as we are included.
We'll do a 3-way, 4-way. Yes, sorry.
They need to be included as chairs for, obviously. And
Yes,
then
Madam Chair.
the other list, the one that was multicolored, not this list, but the other list.
The-
You have Kendall, Kane County, the mayors, council of mayors, individual interviews with whom? Because all of those mayors are represented in the mayor group. They're one and the same, but you don't want Kendall County in there. They're broader, but all of the mayors in the council of mayors are all those mayors.
Use more words for me.
All right, so the Kendall Kane Council of Mayors represents all of the mayors in Kane County. You have all of the mayors in Kane County listed under mayors, smaller cities and mayors, larger cities. The only difference with that organization is that it also represents Kendall County.
Correct. And
So
and
you
so
don't need it.
I agree. So that gives us an open slot for another interview
Correct.
Okay,
spot.
so take out the
Correct.
council mayors. Thank you. Okay. Where's
So
that?
instead of making it smaller and larger cities, we can just figure out how we want to word that, and we'll have the hybrid meeting so that we have in person and like
With the smaller,
Mr. Gregg
I think
suggests.
that's interesting because they have totally different needs, similar but different.
Okay.
Right.
So just to be clear, you mean a hybrid meeting with all the mayors?
I think we can leave it big and small. That's,
Okay,
we just don't add
strike the council.
Shilkey as because he's the head of Kendall and Kane. So he is no longer like a main interviewee. It's not showing up on here.
Yeah, I believe that's on the tab for the 5th. So yeah,
Fifth,
we
please.
can strike that.
Yeah, we'll work that out. So that's good input
Other-
though.
Yeah.
Do we have, instead of the council of mayors, since many, thinking of community leaders?
Can you speak into
Oh,
your
the
microphone?
community, I'm thinking of community leaders. Since you have removed that, could we have representatives from the Kiwanis Rotary? And maybe invite their presidents of their board chair, to that meeting? Because I'd like to get, I personally would value the communication from people, not elected officials or mayors, but just people who are maybe in service organization. I'm trying to thinking of how we get that.
Okay, so we are taking out an individual interview with Kane Kendall Council of Mayors, which is, I think, a very good idea. So we have a 2:30 slot, and we're trying to think how we can best use that.
Correct.
And so you, Madam Chair,
Service organizations. That's the
service
word.
That would be a very good
organizations.
idea.
They have the breakfast Rotary, the luncheon Rotary, the Lions Club.
We have a lot.
The
Yeah.
Kiwanis.
Yeah.
The
John and
Kiwanis,
I are
yeah.
both Kiwanis.
One is
Madam Chair,
Mr. Linda, please.
while I recognize that we're not doing a plan for the Forest Preserve District, should they be something that we interview about the interface between the two groups?
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I suggested Ben. I put Ben on my list.
Okay.
Oh, Ben Haverther.
Ben Haberther, he'd be great. Good.
Yeah, and probably if he'd bring Jennifer Rooks Lopez, who does all the land acquisition stuff, that would be helpful.
Where do we put them?
Can I jump in one more time? If it's kind of an exercise in prioritization, there might be plenty of groups where we want input
Speak
from.
up louder.
Sorry. I view this kind of as an exercise in prioritization where, there's a lot of groups that we want input from, but we don't necessarily need group interviews with every single one. So there's going to be plenty of people on the list that, maybe we'd like to have an interview, or if we don't have the space for them, we can direct them to the social pinpoint site so they can give input there through the survey questions and other tools that are up there. So I think it's great, we can throw as many people as we want onto the list. But, just make sure that we're working within the constraints of the time that we've got available here in
Right.
these individual, or the group interviews rather, so that we're making effective use of that time.
So the Forest Preserve can certainly be invited to fill out the survey questions. One thing I wrote down but haven't had a chance to say is that the stakeholder list is a sample. It's sort of a statistical sample of Kane County. That's like, we can't have every minister. We can't have every teacher, every principal of every school, or even every superintendent of every school district. But if we can get
A sample.
it's a sample,
absolutely
a data point. So, Paul, you're saying let's add the Forest Preserve possibly to, well, on the stakeholder list, the mediums get, the highs get the,
It's hold on. I had a note that I wrote to myself on the bottom of the list. The way that I prioritized it, this is just my own schema. It's not scientific or anything. I was saying that high priority groups, I put them high priority because I thought that, the optimal feedback, you can only get that through one-on-one or kind of, small ratio discussions. And the medium priority groups, I said, we'll get the optimum response from them when we're doing, group interviews or something like that. And the lower priority groups, you can get a sufficient response from them that will inform your plan appropriately just by using the digital outreach and maybe the digital outreach, the town hall meetings, and maybe, inclusion in one of the groups, but not necessarily. So that's kind of how I'm triaging that list, basically.
Well, and everybody will have the opportunity to post on the virtual wall. So we will be garnering all that information and all those suggestions.
And everyone could go to a town hall meeting too, if they'd like
Right,
to. Those
exactly.
are going to be
Could
public.
we add them? This is probably a terrible idea, but could we add the forest preserve to like community groups? Have them be lumped in with Boys and Girls Clubs, Family Focus of Aurora, places, things like that, and add them as a, okay.
It's different.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know what to do with that idea. We'll have to
I
just,
think, and the discussion, if I may, was you spoken about land use when we had that conversation up north with the townships there, and that is development of land that taking off of the tax rolls. That's basically what their concern was. So it could be used for other things. So I think that's a whole different conversation with strategic plan. That would be something that I think the board certainly could address. And because, with your two hats, and that would be something that I would appreciate if Mark Van Kerkhoff could give a conversation about. And perhaps we could do that as a very interesting cow to talk about the difference between forest preserve, land acquisition, and the land acquisition that is needed for other things.
I think you maybe tripped on something here that's a great idea. I'd love to have Van Kerkhoff and Haberther in the same room or the same Zoom call, whatever the format would be, because they both have very similar areas of concern, economic development, land use, that kind of thing that would dovetail well. I think they could feed off each other and give us some.
And then transportation as well, which is all part of that.
Good idea.
That would
Yep.
be a good committee of the whole.
That'd be a beautiful committee of the whole.
Excellent.
okay, let's not try to add them to the interviews. I just don't see how we can do it. To add the forest preserve to these interviews, but we could do it. Let's try committee of the whole.
Are you saying in this group or?
I'm saying I don't see where to put the forest preserve for the interviews for those couple of days.
No.
Michelle, do you have an idea for us? Where we would put the forest preserve? They're not part of our government. They're not part of they're not under us. They're just friends of ours.
Yeah.
Except for all them.
Except for
Hey,
you.
No,
We
they're
had
not
this-
us. We're other.
We had this same issue when we did Lake County's strategic plan a couple of years back. I think the way we handled them was we invited them to a virtual interview. So Barry Dunn could set that up virtually as part of the ones that we're going to schedule. And then all we would need you to do is provide the leaders of each of them, and then we could just send them a group email and schedule something online.
Well, we only have one forest preserve, so there would
Oh,
only
so
be.
you don't have multiple, you just have one.
No, it's
maybe-
just one forest preserve.
Back to Michael's idea, I think like
John, you
transportation.
need to say your name so
Oh,
people
sorry.
online can understand who's talking. So
Right,
this
John-
is
John
Mr.
Gripe.
Gripe speaking.
Forest preserve, transportation and development together on
We
a,
could do that, yeah,
yeah.
that
Okay,
would make sense.
that'd
just
be
a
hard to-
virtual interview.
Well, if you have a slot for in person, that would be great, but we could also schedule it virtually if need be.
We do not have an extra slot at the moment, so.
Then please, in the stakeholder list, group them together. Let us know that the intention is for a group interview virtually, and Barry Dunn will schedule that.
Okay.
Okay, virtual group interview, and that would be forest preserve, transportation, and who else?
Development.
Development.
Development, okay.
Yeah.
Paul, you on it?
Yes, I am taking notes right now.
Okay.
I just wanted to confirm, Michelle, that this list that I've put together for the group interviews, that's not inclusive of the ones that are going to be happening with county staff, right? Or-
Inclusive of what?
Oh, there's also going to be interviews with county staff at some point, and I just want to
Yeah,
make sure that I don't.
we're going to interview department directors and we can handle those.
Okay,
virtually.
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to budget for all of it.
So this would
No,
be part of our
I-
county staff.
I think the only thing that we were hoping for, and it is entirely up to you because the staff, county staff can also be pointed to the social pinpoint site to take the survey and provide input that way. But in case you wanted to do a couple of focus groups, with county staff, we could do those on site, when we're there, or those could also be scheduled virtually. But we would need you to provide us the names of the people that would participate, and then we would invite them.
Okay.
I would
okay.
love that. I think focus groups with the staff sounds perfect. So,
We like to do that. It's a nice way, and if you can get sort of a cross section of people from different departments, as well as sort of a cross section of the of positions within the county, that would be really great.
Mhm.
Yeah, they interface with the public a lot, so they would have a lot of good information for us.
Yeah, and especially the public facing, community facing staff, because they have really good perspectives on, the needs of the community and how the community accesses county programming and services.
okay, that's one of our goals is county services. So
Madam Chair, you had something to add?
Farm Bureau, where are we dealing with farms?
do we
Well,
have
that would
farms
be
on here?
Agriculture, where's ag
Egg?
in all of this?
That would be under staff as well. We're working on putting together.
But there is no staff here in the county for ag.
I would think we could group the ag in with the transportation, forest preserve
Yeah.
development.
Yep.
That
Thank you.
those all,
Thank you,
yeah, those all
Michelle.
fit together really well.
Okay,
And that would be, the Farm Bureau would be a community organization.
Farm Bureau, yeah,
It's a
didn't get
community
on the list.
organization.
Okay, so that should be, Paul, are you are you making additions to the stakeholder list? So, Farm Bureau would be, yeah, a community organization.
And if
Yeah,
you- And if you're doing that, then you may want to bring in Jody Walnut because of water.
I'm gonna, suggest that might not be the best way to do it. If we put ag in with, community organizations, they're in a different focus
Oh,
group.
no, I
We
said
want them in
they're,
with,
they're a community
Forest Preserve.
organization because that's just who they are.
yeah, but we
they're-
want them in the virtual
Land
group
use, the land use group.
Yes.
to do with, yeah, Forest
Yeah.
Preserve Transportation,
Yeah.
Farm Bureau. Good, good, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just adding to the stakeholder list. I'm grouping it, kind of categorically. So I've got separate line items for forest reserve, transpo, development, Farm Bureau, and water resources theoretically. So I'll make a note that all those go together, and it's going to be one probably virtual interview with those
One
department
virtual
heads.
interview, okay.
Question, if I may?
Yes,
Madam's chairs. So I'm envisioning this very healthy
this
list.
is Mr. Gripe speaking.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry.
Very healthy list. So let's say we ask Joe Schmo to be in this interview or that meeting or something like that. And for whatever reason, Joe can't make it or doesn't have the time or whatever. We might want to have at least mental priority of who we could say, all right, you can't make this event or meeting or Zoom, whatever, but we really want to get your input. So if somebody like that says, I can't do it, maybe we could try and get them in if we think they're really important input. Not everybody will be like that, of course, but it just as a backup plan in case they're like, I got better things to do,
So I'm not clear what you're asking.
Okay, so what I'm asking is we might want to develop, not now, but develop once we have the entire list of folks we're going to talk to, is which ones we really want to get input from. So if for some reason they're like, I'm sorry, I'm organizing my sock drawer that day or something.
Do have high, medium and low
Yeah.
priority.
So then we can
so,
follow up with them and say, please.
Yeah.
Well, there will be emails going out from the county, and then we probably will be asking committee members to make phone calls.
Excellent. Okay.
And then also remember, people always will have the option of putting on the virtual wall.
Yep.
So that we will get their input if they're interested in giving us input.
Okay, good.
And right along those same lines, somebody may be scheduled for a meeting and have something come up and not show up. They also will have the opportunity to schedule on, or to add to the virtual wall. So,
And-
it's
and when
always
the-
going to be, we're people, right? We forget or we
Right.
have something come up, so.
Well, and when the emails go out, whether it's, Barry Dunn sending them for the virtual interviews, or it's the county sending the invitations out for the group interviews, the interview guide should be attached. And the people receiving it that message should go into the email that says, we really want your presence, at this interview. If you cannot make it, please respond in writing. Because if the interview questions are attached, they could always write up responses to the questions and send them via email.
Perfect.
Yep.
They can respond in writing.
Very good. And if they don't, we can always, if they respond that they can't be there, we can see if we want to invite somebody else. So, but we're going to be doing this. Right now, this is a moving target as we're setting it up.
Yeah, and so just a note to Paul, when the emails go out inviting these folks to the group interviews, we need to make sure that those interview questions are attached. Number one, people like to see them in advance so they can think about it before they show up. And two, it then provides that backup opportunity to get that input from people who can't attend.
Okay.
I think we can move on to locations for community meetings and forums.
Well, we
Or is there,
have those scheduled. The only one question was Gail Borden Library, and we're pursuing another room at ECC. So we're trying to go across the county, and we'll confirm when we get all those. So
okay, so let's just tell people when the meetings are going to be, so they know.
Madam Chairs,
We've got, yeah.
yes,
another special group would be Special Olympics.
Yeah, we need to have the people, although AID represents a big swatch of affordable housing, special needs, et cetera. But because of access, we have to make sure that we have the disabled special needs population highly presented. That's, I was thinking of Special Olympics perhaps for that group, accessibility, et cetera, their needs, jobs has to be addressed. I'd love to hear their voice.
AID covers all of that, right?
well, and
No.
it would be under the service
But
community.
this would be, these are active
Separate
parents. This
organization.
is separate organization. AID, as I said, is pretty holistic and they're detailed, but they deal with people in a variety of levels of abilities. This is very unique.
So are you suggesting this would be a one-on-one interview possibility?
Possibly from their representative, from their organization.
Okay.
That's an area I'm very sensitive with. And we,
AID you're talking about?
No,
people with special needs.
Well, where did you put AID? You could put Special Olympics in the same area.
Well, they would have input into Special Olympics. Like we said, we can't interview everybody,
I understand,
but AID would have the understanding of what goes into Special Olympics.
but I guess my question was, were you doing one-on-one with AID or in a?
That's what we're trying to discuss.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So we have a wall, right? And do we have topics on that wall? Because even if we had for people with special needs, a hybrid wall for them, a special unique wall for them, that they can have their comments.
We have the categories.
Correct.
The wall is based on the categories, which includes public health and safety. So I believe that,
Accessibility, is that in there as well?
I think so. I think that we could go in there.
Is the wall again these 6 things?
the wall will have the 6 categories on it. Michelle? Help. But the wall will be based on our 6 categories. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the platform, the social pinpoint platform, has a limitation of 6 categories. You can have less than 6 categories, but you cannot have more than 6 categories. And it's just how the platform is constructed. So that is a limitation that we have to live by in terms of selecting, the focus areas that we want to try to gather input on.
Is there a excuse me, is there a possibility, Mavis Bates speaking, is there a possibility under public health and safety that we could add a little paragraph that says, pleasing, there's nothing, no comments?
No.
No.
Yeah, it is, the platform it's built to try to be very simple and not complicated for people to do. And so that's the point behind it. People are gonna, what we found, if it helps at all, is that when people want to comment, they comment and they'll just pick a category, right? And it might be a category that doesn't even necessarily relate to what they're commenting on, but we'll be able to, it's just a way of organizing the information on the actual platform. When Barry Dunn analyzes the information, we will be able to, make some more nuanced analysis of that.
Thank you.
Okay, I understand.
Paul, you had something to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I believe in a previous meeting when we were talking about the categories, I think we had accessibility there at one point, but we ended up stepping away from it because the idea was that we would be asking people to give comment on all these areas, through a kind of lens of accessibility to kind of like predicate it on everything else.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Accessibility was an overriding
Yeah.
point that we wanted.
It was access, and I think 1 or 2 other kind of areas that are supposed to kind of be prior to what we're even asking people about.
Would you speak up, please? I can't understand you, Paul.
I'm sorry. I've got 2 volume levels. It's really quiet and really loud. So I'm
Give me
trying
the
to-
really loud because you flow does not do it for me.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we just had those 1 or 2 areas that were kind of prior to what we're actually asking people questions about. So theoretically, everything should be viewed through a lens of accessibility already. It's just a matter of making that clear to people.
Do we need public health, safety, and accessibility?
I think Michelle just suggested that was not what we wanted to do.
Okay.
So, but like she said, people will find a way
You
and a
can-
place to
You
put it.
you could add accessibility to that title. So it doesn't, it can be 3 or
I don't think
4
she said
words
that.
long, right?
Good.
You could add it there if you wanted to. We just can't add a 7th category.
Right.
Oh,
So
Good,
it
so
could
we
be
can just add that word.
public safety, health, and accessibility would be a category.
We have public health and safety is what our
Yeah.
category is.
Okay. Yep.
So it'd be public health, safety, and accessibility.
We could do
Is that
that.
okay?
If-
All right. One more.
Good.
The final. Paul, that's the final categories.
Say that one last time so I can write it down.
Public safety, health, and
No,
accessibility.
no. It
Nope.
will be public health and safety and accessibility.
Public health and safety and accessibility.
Correct.
Got it. Ampersands or the word and.
On behalf of the disabled community, I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I think I don't think we have anything else to cover. I think I'm seeing Paul, you have something else to add?
The next thing we need to move forward is just, well, I think we might handle this offline, but the interview guides and everything. Once we have those, we can start making calls and doing outreach and getting these meetings together. But yeah, I think that does cover it. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Interview guides is next.
yeah.
Okay, any more comments? Mr. Linder, Mr. Gripe? We're
Anybody?
good? Ms. Allen? Any more comments? And Ms. Mann?
So the next meeting would be
2 weeks.
the 22nd of October. So at 12 o'clock again. So, okay, so I need a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
Bates moves?
I'll second. But I had a question. Could we make it at 11:30?
We have a legislative meeting that day.
Yeah, I know.
So.
I'm on that too, but yeah, or whenever that one ends and we could just start right after it. I mean, we had plenty of time today. I'm able to get to my mentoring thing, but
I think for ease, we need to keep it at 12 o'clock each time.
okay.
Since this meeting was late.
Yeah, and we will make every effort to get you out on time.
All right. Thank you. It's been perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, I am
All in favor? Say aye.